So, hey y'all, this is James.
And this is
and
Lewis.
This is NAAP Podcast.
I'm sorry.
We're
just two friends who love to talk about all things anime. The good, the gross, the goofy. Sometimes we get serious. Sometimes we speak on heavier life topics. It's just how we are.
So for today, since I don't really have an anime bad take or a hot take, it's more, and the whole topic is kind of catered to something like a anime bad or hot take, but it's us just sharing our animes that we like either hold dear to us or has challenged us in some way. Or I'll let Lewis explain some more about that.
Yeah, just what like pretty much what you said. Just have you ever watched an anime where you had an expectation of it and it just totally just blew your mind, or just totally not even blew your mind, but just totally I was not expecting it to go in that direction. I was not expecting that. And it could be a good or bad. You could be like, oh man, that was an amazing turn. Oh man, this is not this ain't it, So, or like James said, like you said, James, just an anime that may have really resonated with you. There's some shows or animes that we all have that, you tell somebody else, all right, I don't know why you like that, but for us, it's near and dear to our heart, for whatever reason. So, yeah, and I think I have kind of a couple.
Okay.
James, I'll let you start.
All right, mine is very short and quick. It's Attack on Titan, and this is an anime that challenged me, even though it did kind of subvert my expectation when the main character died at the very beginning. So it seems so.
Yeah.
They really played that, made it he was done for. There was no setup or anything to even make you think he was about to come back.
Yeah, because in 99% of those sorts of situations that I see in TV, movies, whatever, I'm all right, it's obvious. Why did y'all even do this scene? I know that person's not dead. I'm not stupid. Y'all, this is bad writing. But no, like you said, that was very convincing. I was like, okay, so if he's not the main character, then what is this? At that point, I turned it off and I went straight to my sister Imani's room. I went to Imani's room and was like, Imani, whatever you're doing, you need to stop and come watch this anime with me right now, because this is some wild BS. I ain't never seen no mess like this before.
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, oh, this is a new storytelling method. Wow. Where they just gonna move because this was before I saw Gurren Lagann, so I was like, they're gonna just move the story to a focus to a different character. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting too. Yeah.
And but the main reason why I chose this as something that challenged me was when Sasha died. Because I was I've never been more mad at a death in the character who killed somebody ever in my life. All the animes I've seen. Precious, even with Jiraiya and all that, I was never mad. It was just sad, but that was anger. Rage.
Yeah.
And that made me challenge myself, hold up. I'm rooting for this little girl to be killed. Because she killed somebody who was killing all of her relatives at their home.
Right.
So I had to reflect on myself. Why am I this upset? Because it's a dog eat dog world. And I feel because I always get annoyed and upset when I see bad guys who are going in and killing, and then as soon as one of their soldiers' stuff gets killed, all of a sudden they're even more mad and want to take it personal. It's what are you saying?
Right.
And that was the same thing.
Right.
That was the good guys who are protagonists went into somebody's home and invaded and was killing indiscriminately. And then one of them got killed. All of a sudden I'm super mad and why? I'm being hypocritical now.
Yeah.
So I had to challenge myself and rethink. Right. And then another part of Attack on Titan that had got me thinking about was Eren right? Because if we're not saying when I say was Eren right, in his choice. I'm not saying that what he did was right or wrong, because killing is wrong regardless. Even though a lot of us, for some reason, going back to what I just said, we can justify killing when it suits us.
Yeah.
Suits our agenda.
Yeah.
But once it's somebody else's agenda and killing our loved ones or half the planet, or a majority of the planet in that case, was that an appropriate choice given the situation? And I had to really mull over that and think. And so the hot take of that is just like, in the long run, no, it wasn't right, because people are going to be people and they're going to fight regardless. In the short 100-year span that it lasted of peace, we can say that it did what he did what he intended to do, and he got his results that he wanted. So in that sense, it was right for him. That was an appropriate choice for him to make.
Yeah. Did you how did you find yourself personally,
it's one of those where I'm just like, do you just give up hope? Like, will I just give up hope? Because this is reflecting mankind, that we are constantly fighting each other for the stupidest reasons, and we're all the same. And we play against each other just because of different cultures, ethnicities, race, and all that. And I'm just like, since we're going to keep doing this, is it just okay to drop a nuke and just be done with it?
Right. And that is some people's sentiment. That is, what villain? Like, I'm thinking of people like, of course I can't think off the top of my head, but I feel like
Ultron.
There's some villain. Maybe
Ultron was the AI. Ultron?
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of Ultron, where it's like, we just are going to start over. Like, humanity has lost, like, just F it. Like, no, we just need to go with a clean slate. Or I feel like there was maybe it was an anime. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Jujutsu Kaisen, where the what do they call curses? One of them was like, we just don't need people anymore. Like, we just need the earth. Like, I might be misremembering, but I feel like that's kind of one of their deals. He's like, the earth is perfect. We just don't need humans here because y'all are trash. But I might be wrong, but I feel like there's somebody.
And what got me back, though, was my Christian perspective, and there is hope, because there's going to be a new earth and a new heaven that gets created after this one gets destroyed. So that's our hope, and we won't have to. And so now it's just, why we persist in this life is to get as many people as possible souls saved, so that they can dwell in that, because Jesus already paid for our crimes. And so we don't have to. So get that free salvation. What are we doing here? Like, let's get. So we're gonna serve each other and get as many people to that free salvation as possible until we have that new earth, the new heaven, and that's when it's gonna be, hey, no more killing, no more crying, like, no, none of all that stuff that we're suffering right now.
Because, like you said, there's a book by Dr. Seuss. There's like the Starbelly Sneetches and those Sneetches without stars on their bellies. These two beings look exactly alike, and the only difference is in star. And even so, I know I'm kind of jumping, but they're even at the end of Attack on Titan, and the credits are rolling, and Aaron is dead, and everybody's pretty much gone. But they're rolling in the credits scenes of people still bombing each other, and still, so like, even after all that stuff, and you think, okay, this is going to be our happily ever after. No, the creator of Attack on Titan shows that no, people are still going to be people, even after this whole entire ordeal, 1,000 years, whatever, however long Attack on Titan took place. The whole story is like, no, even after that, there's still going to be wars. So, like you said, is there just no hope? People are just always going to be like this? Are we just always going to find reasons to just hate each other? I don't know. Like you said, that and this whole conversation, this is also why I like Attack on Titan, because it does challenge you in that way. It makes you look at the human condition as like, okay, are people really just like this? I personally refuse to believe that, and I think there is hope too, because I do think there are a lot of good people in the world, balance things out. People, there's love worth fighting for and living for, and not just nuking things and restarting. And yeah.
All right, what you got, Lewis?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm still just stuck on Attack on Titan.
You got some more Attack on Titan?
No, I don't have any more to say. Well, maybe I don't know. I'm just like Attack on Titan. That's a really good one to choose because it really does challenge you in multiple ways. It just challenges you, like even when they had to choose between Armin and Erwin, and you're like, dang, yeah, and you're like, dang, ooh. There are some people in the Erwin camp and there's some people in the Armin camp, and you're like, and then after seeing everything that happened afterwards, it's like, was that the right decision to save Armin instead of Erwin? Like, I don't,
Yeah, I still don't know because it's one of those decisions where it's just a toss up.
Yeah.
Because I can see it going either way with both one or the other being gone. Things will still get done.
And, right. I was going to say, just, so Attack on Titan challenges you, or at least it challenged me in situations like that, where I'm like, okay, I have to choose between these two characters, or I have to, there's so many situations where within the plot itself, I'm challenged with the characters and what they're doing. But then, well, like what we just talked about, it challenges my worldview of stuff and how I see people, or, do I just feel like the world is just, going to hell in a handbasket. So, to pivot, the one I chose that really surprised me, and this is a bad surprise. There's one called Juni Taisen, and I think the English title is something about Zodiac Wars or something like that. And have you ever heard of Juni Taisen?
No, I have not.
No. So the premise, and it's been a few years since I've seen it, so hopefully I don't. But the premise is, I think these countries, maybe I should just pull up the... It's something like these, instead of fighting wars, these countries send warriors to this city, and somehow they evacuate the entire city, which becomes this battleground for these, it's like 12 fighters or something
it's
like
that.
It's like
Fate Stay Night.
Yeah. It's pretty similar to that, I feel. Okay, so Crunchyroll says 12. Oh, sorry. The record of the bloody battle between 12 proud warriors gets held every 12 years. And of course, the warriors, so there's rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. And they're all, like Year of the Rat, Year of the Dragon. They're all representative of that. And they all have different abilities and stuff too. And so like the first, they all kind of make their way to the city, and they're like running into each other and like, oh yeah, I know who you are. And like, they're sizing each other up and all that type of stuff. And well, I think the first episode, they all get invited to this room, and like the host is like explaining things or something like that, and then he kind of sends them off so that they can hunt each other pretty much. They're like playing, a game of like pretty much whoever is the last person standing, they kind of win, And like the first episode is a banger. It's like, all right, this is good animation. Like this is, it's good action, and like it's a good premise. Like, all right, I can get into this. This is dope. You watch the second episode and you're like, all right, this is pretty cool. But pretty soon they get into like a rut, and it's like it gets so formulaic that it starts to get hard for me to enjoy. So before a character gets killed off, they'll go in, and I know a lot of anime does this, but they'll go into like their backstory and like some flashback. Naruto does this sometimes, and I'm like, all right, so I know this character's gonna die, and of course they die. Like, all right, cool. Next episode, beginning of the episode, same thing. And I was like, all right, surely, and that character dies too. And then next episode, all right, so y'all just gonna keep showing flashbacks at the beginning of the episode, showing me who's gonna die. And then at the end of the episode, this person dies. I'm like, this is
Hell's Paradise.
For me, that's too. Yeah.
What happened?
And I'm like, this is. But the way they do it is a little too predictable, like so predictable till it's like, okay, this is not enjoyable. And then the animation, I'm hesitant to like criticize people's animation and their art, but it's inconsistent. It's like, man, and it's like so inconsistent that it's like, oh, okay, I can tell a junior designer or a junior artist kind of, drew this scene versus like this scene, which is like, this looked like a movie. Like the quality is super inconsistent. So it was just like, but more than all of that, it's like what the characters were doing in the show itself was like, it's just doing nonsensical stuff to me. I'm like, this is your actions are not making sense. It's like in a horror movie when the person is running and the slasher is just walking and they're tripping over air, they're dropping their keys. They're like, I'm like, bro, or they hear a noise and they go to check it out. I'm like, okay, you know damn well that you should not be going and checking out that noise. You are about to die. But there's like, I don't know, I feel like there's some inconsistencies with the characters themselves and their abilities and stuff. It's like, I don't know, overall, it's one of those shows where you really want it to be good. And you're like, man, this is so close. But y'all are just like, writing wise, not making good decisions. And like some of the characters have abilities that you're like, where's this coming from? Like, how can this dude fly? Like, I am now confused on the physics of this world, because when they first introduce it, it's like, okay, it's anime. Like I know this person can jump 20 feet or whatever, or they're really accurate with their shooting. Okay, I get that. But this person is full on like defying the laws of their own world. Like, I am not understanding what's going on. Like this, I think it was either snake or dragon. They could like end up flying, but they never like hinted at them having any sort of ability like this. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe. I know that like in anime, you expect this stuff, but for me, this one just kind of I needed to have some more dots connected for me. Like there's one character, Rabbit. He's a necromancer, so like I guess he can control dead bodies. But this dude killed himself and then controlled himself to fight somebody, and I was like,
that
what?
doesn't make any sense at all.
Does not make sense. No. Because I forget, but I think another character had some ability that had incapacitated him. He was like, all right, I'm gonna just bite my tongue and kill myself and then free myself from whatever voodoo you got going. I was like, all right, I'm done.
Can't control yourself when you're dead.
Yeah.
You can't bring yourself back to life. That's stupid.
Yeah. So that's kind of that. Me and Dee Dee, my wife Dee, we like to make fun of Jeannie Tyson a lot. And I know I didn't go into like any specifics of like the plot or episodes or anything like that.
Doesn't seem like there was one.
Yeah, there's, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's like, and even the small stuff, like some of the characters in their flashback are wearing the exact same clothes that they're wearing in present day. And I'm like, all right, so this dude just has the same wardrobe for it. And I'm like, all right. Small oversight, but okay.
You know what that reminds me of, Lewis? That reminds me of how there are some animes that make fun of a bunch of flashbacks. So they will say a flashback that just happened like a second ago, and then they'll flash back to what the person just said. Yeah, he did. So dumb. You're like, so-and-so had just did it, and then they go back into that little, and if you do this, you'll die. How do you spell that though, Lewis? The Jujutsu? The what Tyson?
Yeah, Junie Tyson is JUNI TAISEN. Junie Tyson.
TAISEN. Oh.
Yeah. Junie Tyson Zodiac War. And I mean, hey, if you like it, then you like it. It just wasn't for me and Dee Dee. You are our listeners or whoever. Because I see on Crunchyroll it has an average rating of 4.1 stars, so out of 5. So somebody likes it.
Must be the shonens, the young boys,
right? Because even so there are some characters that I was like, all right, cool. Like this girl monkey, she was dope AF. And there's some other characters that seemed like they were really promising. But then when they went to go fight, it was like, oh, you're not as... It's kind of like a Sakura moment where it's like, oh, you're from Naruto, you know. It's like you're not as cool as I thought you were. You're not as, you know, up to the task as I thought you were, as what they were kind of hyping you up to be in the show. It's like I was expecting more from you, and it's like, oh, this is, you know. So sometimes the action just wasn't really hitting for me, you know. But as my wife says, don't yuck somebody else's yum. So hey, if y'all like Junie Tyson, that's cool, but it just wasn't for me. But I would say another one that kind of surprised me is Made in Abyss, and I don't know if you've seen that.
I remember you talked about it though. So
yeah, it is like, it looks like a kid's cartoon, but then there's some parts that get pretty brutal, and like there's some spots where they're like I don't know, transmuting kids into like these blobs. And it's like, dang, dude, these are little kids, and y'all just like turn them into these little monsters and like ruining their lives and stuff. But so it gets pretty. There's some moments that's like, you know, the Shao Tucker. There's some Shao Tucker moments in Made in Abyss, and it kind of tears your heart a little bit. But so yeah,
those one of those stories that I be looking at the creators a little weird, little side eye.
Man, I'm telling you, James. I'm telling you. There's me and Didi are like, oh, okay, who thought of this? Who thought of this? This is some, like, you are demented. Like, you need some help. I understand you're like expressing yourself in your art, and maybe this is therapeutic for you, but me and Didi have seen some anime where we're just, even for us, we're like, all right, that was pretty far off the map, even for anime. That was wild.
It's funny when a kid gets beat and there's like no serious consequences of them getting beat because they can take hits and all that. But when it's coming to like blood is splurting and bodies getting crushed and transmutations and stuff, and also shown in sexual lights and stuff, I'm just like, what is happening here? Like, you guys are very... I don't want to sound too churchy or judgy, but it's like, it's demonic. Something is demonic about you wanting to like crush and corrupt innocence. It's just crazy to me. It's demonic to me.
And also just any sort of inappropriate, I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of relationships in anime that borderline inappropriate, you know. And I'm like I on Toonami, they're showing Mashal, and that's another one that I love to bash. But there's a character who loves his little sister, and I'm like, okay, I know that's a trope. It's a trope that I don't really care for. That's just really weird to me. I'm like, why are you describing your little sister the way that I would describe my wife or my girlfriend, you know? So it's stuff like that. I'm like, I don't really get that. And maybe it's a cultural difference, but I'm like, even if it's a cultural difference, I don't know.
Because we got some people in this country that will agree and understands that. Yeah, it's just that we just, as a morality thing, worldwide, it's no.
And I know people will say, well, the person's fake. It's a cartoon. They're 2D. They're not real and all that. But I'm like, it's the principle of the matter, dude. It's the what's behind it, you know?
Because I was people before. But the closer I get to have my own kids and stuff, it's just more, it's just like, nah.
And well, it's kind of everywhere, or not everywhere, but that's not the word I want to use. You see it quite a bit, I'll say. You know, those sorts of, you know, there's lollies. There's always, is that a little girl? Or is that a woman? Like, and Freerin is a good example of that. And is like, Freeland is over 1,000 years old, but this girl looks like she's 12. You know, so
I never thought that Freerin looked like she was 12 to me.
What you say?
Freerin never looked like she was 12 to me in my head.
No, she looked older for you. Yeah, and I mean, it is her demeanor too. She don't act like a little kid.
There are moments when she is acting like a little kid that they would draw her to look like she's 12 or something. Like when she was throwing a tantrum.
Yeah. And it's like, I know obviously there's people in real life that look like they're teenagers, but they're like 30 years old, and I mean, they deserve love too and stuff, but we
know a famous
culture.
person like that. I won't say any names because I don't know how far this will ever go. I don't think it will ever go far, but you just never know. They look like a lolly.
And I know that's kind of it's like, I get it, but at least when we know for a fact that the character is underage, it's like, come on now. So I'm thinking of a show like Steins Gate and Mayuri, or technically Mayushi. She likes to be called Mayushi. I never got an inappropriate sense from Okabe to Mayuri, and they could have easily done it, especially with Daru. But and Daru was a pervert, and there was a few times he was like, "Oh yeah, say that line one more time," but that was just him being weird. It wasn't him perverting on herself and making her inappropriate. So it's like, I appreciate, and I mean, I guess I don't know how old Mayuri is anyway, so maybe she's, I don't know.
Was in high school still. I know that.
Oh, she was
still in high school. They were in college. I don't know what year in college they were though.
Oh,
I want to say they were undergrads, but they might have been doctorate students or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Students,
so,
but I do know they was in college though.
And there's, I don't know, sometimes I see relationships like that where like the dude is in college and she's in high school or something. Not to get too off track, but yeah, that just is kind of an interesting, the age gap thing. But if the person is 18, 19. But
what I've been noticing, especially in Korean content and also in Japanese content, I've been seeing their they're graduating middle school, like they're in their third year of middle school at like 16.
Yeah, see, and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they do. I think they do what we used to do back in the day, which is 3 years of middle school, 3 years of high school, then you're in college.
Okay.
And then the rest is all primary.
Got you. Okay. Hey, maybe their kids are more mature than our kids are. Maybe they just are kind of more adultish at a certain age. I don't know.
Because I know how Korea, how they do their age is you're a year once you come out the womb.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so most of the time, everybody's 20 years old when they graduate from high school in Korea. They're 20. And that's the legal age of an adult.
Oh, 21 in Korea. Okay.
Yeah, so if they were over here, though, in the States, they will only be 19 years old, according to how or anywhere else, according to how everywhere else kind of defines your age, which is you only turn a year after you're a year out of the womb. Yeah,
which I can see. I mean, technically, you are a year plus when you come out of the womb because
9 months
been existing
most of the time.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And so there's people who are born in December, right? 1 year old for a day, and then they're 2 that next hour. The following when the new year starts, they'll be 2 years old.
Nah, see that confuses me. I'd be like, what?
Because everybody turns a year older during the New Year's.
That's just a different way of thinking of things. That's cool though.
Yeah, so in Japan, so I'm thinking that they're 19 years old once they graduate high school. And then they're going into college. And you remember how we felt when we were in high school at 17, 18 graduating, we already think we're grown. They a year plus that. 19 and 20, so they already know thinking they grown.
Yeah. Knowing y'all don't know what adulthood is. You just don't know.
Some of them do because they were living by themselves and brought themselves to school and stuff and working part-time and all that and paying bills.
Which that makes me kind of sad because I'm like, I don't know. On one hand, it's like I appreciate that you are so responsible so early, more than probably half of adults on the planet. On the other hand, I'm sad that you didn't get a full childhood
Right.
because I'm like, you already in it, in the trenches.
Yeah.
And you are barely on this planet.
Childhood is so short compared to the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you need to spend that little bit of your childhood. That's only 18 for some, 16 for others of years of just being able to not have that big of responsibilities.
Right.
And after that, say the average lifespan, depending on where you live in the U.S., is about 77, I think it was. Maybe it's in the 80s, I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's like from 16 to 80, that's like quick math here. Like 60 something years of adulthood.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah.
Couldn't spend that time of being a child. It's gonna come out at some point in your life too. Childhood, what you missed in your childhood, that's what a midlife crisis is, I believe.
James, that is one of the truest statements. I am telling you, because I feel like that's where I'm at. Not that I'm having a midlife crisis, but I feel like I'm approaching it. And I'm very aware. And I was just even telling Didi, like, look, I know I'm feeling this way because I don't have my freedom like I did even back in college. I don't have control over my schedule like I used to. You know, there's like so many, I have all these bills I need to be aware of and keep track of. There's like all this stuff that just day after day after day after day, you gotta do chores. You gotta take care of your family. You gotta cook. And it's just like so constant and nonstop. So it's just like, man, you really gotta, like before it was effortless for me to find time for myself and to have leisure time. Now it's like, it's almost a chore just even trying to relax. I'm just like, dude.
Schedule your leisure time.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I feel that. And another part of a midlife crisis is when people are not in their purpose. That's when that's heavy.
Wholeheartedly. Yes. Wholeheartedly.
Not working in your purpose and you feel like it's slowing and you're like, dang, I should have more accomplished at this time. So what can make me feel better?
Yes.
I'm about to go buy some toy.
Well, whatever that toy is. It could be an 80-inch TV. It could be $100,000 car. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or hookers.
Dude. Right. That too. Right. Right. Because that is definitely where I'm at right now. Where it's like you know what I was saying earlier. I'm really into this housing stuff. I just don't. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and all that. You know, I'm trying to find my own purpose. Like, okay, what do I actually want to do with my career, my life? You know, what does that look like? I don't really see it where I'm at. You know, any examples of what I'm trying to do exactly. You know, and just generally feeling like you said, just what is my purpose in life? Like, what am I? Purpose as in, not that I don't know who I am and all that, but just what am I doing for work? Like I know I don't want to sit at this 9 to 5, you know, for too much longer. And I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, I agree. That's definitely part of the midlife crisis sort of thing.
What can I do that's gonna be fulfilling and it's motivating to get me out of bed?
Yes.
Working.
Yes.
Because any 9 to 5,
well,
I can guarantee you, Lewis, I've never been fired in my life, right? But if I get a 9 to 5, just a random 9 to 5, I'm not going to work all the time. I'll just tell you that right now.
I am late. I won't say, it's pretty much every day. Not by a whole lot, but yeah.
Like, if it's not somebody who I actually genuinely like working with or something, it's not going to be good. I'm not going to be up. I'm not going to be on time. I'm not going to be motivated because money does not motivate me.
James.
Paying bills does not motivate me.
No. And while I do like having extra money, you know, obviously everybody does. Like you said, I am not motivated to hustle to get money. To do, and I wish I was like that. I so wish I was. But I agree with you, dude.
What I am motivated by is people counting on me. Like me saying that I'm going to do something and they're counting on me to do it. That's what I'm motivated on.
Oh, okay. So you like that the dependability. Mm-hmm. I got you.
If others are dependent on me to get a job done, and I'm the only one that can did it, or if I volunteered my services or whatever, if I made a commitment to do it, then that's motivating. That will get me up. I can be 2 hours of of sleep, and I'm still getting up to fulfill that commitment, that promise.
Gotcha. That's good. Yeah, and that's talking about motivation. I've been trying to figure out lately what does motivate me. I don't get very motivated by other people, and I think I really struggle with that because I see, like at work, I see so many gung-ho people and they're so gung-ho for the company. I'm like, look, the company I work for is great and I love the company. I have no bad words against them, but I don't have any emotional ties to this company, or any and so it's like I don't get motivated by trying to make this company better. I don't get motivated by their metrics, and so I'm like, okay, so then what does just motivate me? I just want to feel content. I just want to be relaxed. I just want to be stress free. But like our hustle culture won't really allow me to do that. So I don't know.
So let me ask you this, Lewis. What is your purpose? Do you know it?
When you say purpose, are you talking about why I was put on this earth, or purpose as in what kind of work do I?
No, why were you put on this earth?
To be honest, I just feel like just to enjoy life. Like my take on it is we're put here to have joy and to just be content and to just enjoy each other and enjoy the planet and just enjoy our time here. And all of this, I'm gonna work 60, 80 hours a week. And I don't take no vacation. I don't take no sick days. That's wild to me. That's bizarro to me, Yeah.
But I know I can do 80 hours of work, but if it's something that is within my purpose and calling, it won't feel like work. Right. So I can do that all day long.
Right. And even if you're working within your purpose, you still have to take a rest. You still have to take a break and take a vacation.
And if you don't, you're going to get forced to.
Right. Because I don't know. If you truly enjoy it, then that's fine. If it feels like it's you just playing a video game, but it's not a video game, it's you being in the office or whatever. All right, that's cool. But you still need to take care of yourself physically. You still need to see your family. You still need to take, but even besides all that, it's like, we're here to enjoy life. And I see all this bickering. I see all this fighting. I see people hating each other. Like, it breaks my heart so much that people in this world can literally hate me and you without seeing us, without knowing who we are, but they just hate us. They, with a vile passion, they hate our guts, and they would like to see us dead. If they could take a gun and shoot us in the face themselves, they would love to do that without knowing anything about us. And knowing that if me and you saw them in an alley and they were like hurt or something, or they were in trouble, we would stop and like talk, help them out without knowing them. And we would show them love and compassion, but they would not show that to us. It blows my mind. And I'm like, I don't know why, it's the whole old conversation of why is there even evil in the world? Why does God allow all, that whole conversation, we always have it. But for me, my purpose, I feel like, is to just be content and just enjoy life and just, whatever that looks like.
I love that answer. I love that answer.
Yeah. But also to help other people do the same, And so that's why, going back to me having a passion for housing, because for me, that's the starting point where it's like, if you don't have a good home, and I've seen homes that are like not very livable, just the way they're oriented, just the way they're laid out, or, for whatever reason. And I'm like, or maybe they're too small, or, and you have families kind of stuffed into them. And, that really does affect people's relationship, their dynamics with each other. People don't really know how to relate to each other sometimes, or like resolve conflict sometimes, or, I don't know. That's just stuff that I think about. And I know I call myself a soft person. I'm a really soft person. Like, I'm a really sensitive, really just, I don't even like Dee Dee describing to me something very violent that happened. Man, let me show you this Instagram post. Nah, is somebody getting shot, stabbed, run over? Nah, don't show me that stuff.
Right?
I don't want to know that.
I can only digest that when it's fiction.
Yeah, yes. Weirdly enough, I can watch Game of Thrones all day, but it is real life. Don't show me that mess.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what I feel like my purpose is, but that doesn't really translate into. I have a hard time.
I was just about to talk about how the difference between purpose and calling, because you answering your purpose, you just mentioned your calling, which was housing, and to get people to get that freedom and enjoyment is through housing.
Okay, so I see what you're saying now. It's kind of like, on a job, on your resume, is like you have your mission and your vision or something like that, or on some company website, and they always seem like really similar, but they're still technically different. So I see what you mean, where like your purpose is what you're here for, and your calling is kind of how you go about doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Purpose never changes, but the calling does change at different points in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it, to see it.
My purpose.
Well, we kind of. Oh, go ahead.
I won't get into my purpose, but yeah.
No, you can if you want. I can kind of guess what I know you like working with the youth a lot, and you've done that in so many different capacities over the years. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been impressed. I'm like, James is dealing with these kids, and he's telling me all these stories. I'm like, man, I'm a pacifist, but some of them kids, I would have slapped the taste out their mouth. I'm like, nah, bro, you need to go sit down somewhere, or I'm about to quit. But that's how you know that's your purpose, because it don't bother you the way that bothers me.
No. It really never feels like work. Like when I'm putting together this whole servant leadership program for these kids at my church, my dad's like, "But you ain't getting paid though." And this is something that people will pay a lot of money to put together for. Like, but I don't feel no type of way about it at all.
Well, because I get what your dad is saying, but at the same time, it's a really great opportunity, and you are really serving a really great cause, and it's not paid, but the experience you're getting from it, I really do feel like you will take that to whatever you do next in life. You say, hey, I made this program, and you have that experience now, even if you didn't get paid for it. So that's tough.
And that's why I'm just like, I don't feel no type of way. It's great. I'm getting this experience because I know I can do this. I already did it once before with our reporting center. We had got way deep, like I knew we would, because we're talking about what animes challenge us.
I actually, right. Hey, we said at the beginning of the podcast we get goofy and silly, and we also get deep. And today was just more of a deep episode, and that's all right. I actually did have one other anime I thought about, and I know we're at about an hour and 15, but did you watch Claymore?
No, I didn't. You told me about that one as well. I didn't watch it.
No, okay. I wasn't sure if sometimes I forget who I watch stuff with. I know I watched it with Didi, but so yeah, just Claymore was another one that surprised me, only because, and I don't know how many people know about it. I don't think it's super well known. It's a little older, maybe from the 90s, I think. So the premise is, it's one of those shows with demons that are like hunting people like in the shadows, and it's kind of set in, kind of medieval times. So there's no technology and nothing like that, but so these demons, they call them, there's always a certain name for them, like, I don't know, yokai or something like that, but they can transform to look like humans. And so they're really hard to find and detect in these villages, and people just come up missing, and they just assume that a demon got them. And once they kind of transform, they look a little uglier and stuff, but they can get kind of buff and like real strong or whatever. So for these villages to protect themselves, there's a company, a nameless company that sends out these female warriors. They're called claymores. Well, that's just what people call them. I think the company has their own name for them, but they have like this armor. They're like, I don't know how to describe them. They're like First of all, I like it because they're not scantily clad. Like, the armor actually looks kind of legit. You know, it's like, all right, this is functional attire. Okay, cool. And there's no anime titties. They're like, you know, all kind of properly proportioned, you know.
The demons were called abyss feeders. That was one of the...
Oh, say that again.
Abyss feeders.
You said what feeders?
Abyss feeders. ABYSS feeders.
Oh, abyss. I don't think they were called that. I should have looked this up.
That's what you said they were the last time we talked about it, so I just went back to that.
Oh, I did? Oh.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'll be taking notes, Lord.
Hey, if I say it, it must be true. I guess. Back there, I don't know why I said that.
Would have said in the manga as well. It had abyss feeder.
Oh, got you. Okay.
That's the lower echelon of the demons.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. You know, they're... I can't think of a similar anime. Well, anyway. So these claymores, they'll send out one typically, and these claymores are half demon, half human. I don't know how this company makes them, but they, for real, just kind of kidnap little girls, pretty much orphans, and, you know, and they're like, hey, you ain't doing that in life. You got to work for this company. And they train them up and, you know, turn them into these kind of half monsters, and people are afraid of them, even though they save their village, because they don't understand them. And their eyes are silver. They call them silver-eyed witches. And they're all usually blonde, or like white-haired. I think it's just, I assume it's an effect of the process. But they all kind of have the same abilities, and then they all kind of deviate and have their own abilities. So, like, they all are pretty much super strong, super fast, you know, heal really quickly. They don't eat much. They can eat like an apple and be fine for like a day or two. You know, they don't really need to sleep that much. They're just like almost like the Terminator. But so just long story short, the show just surprised me because it's like you look at it and at first it looks a little dusty. It's like, all right, this ain't like the cleanest animation. But then very quickly it's like, okay, the main character, she's already a boss, but her journey through the whole show is just like, she just kind of keeps getting stronger and like surpassing people's expectations of her and even her own expectations. And like the English dub is actually pretty decent. Now there is one character that her little sidekick that she kind of, she saves him. He's like a 12-year-old kid. And like he just kind of follows her around from town to town. But he's like the most annoying and most useless character in any show I've ever seen in my life. And he literally does nothing for the show. You could take him out and it changes nothing. And
oh
so
my goodness.
My one. Yeah, right. Yeah. But I
hate characters like that.
Yeah. Just whiny for no reason and don't contribute. He don't even get stronger enough to like even protect himself by the end of the show. And I'm like, okay, you were literally useless this whole entire, and even gets in the way and like causes trouble. I'm like, all right. But anyway, so what really surprised me, I just say all of this just because, so, you know, you got these warriors, they're pretty badass. There's one, and I'm telling you, she is my favorite character, and like, I don't know, she was one that I would say she is probably my top 5 favorite characters of all time in all of anime, because she is just that boss. I'm just talking about like Captain Levi level, you know, just straight up just, you know, killing people. Like so there's some rules for these warriors. They can't kill humans. That's against the rules. No matter, even if they are like criminals, even if you just witness them murder somebody, like you are not allowed to kill a human or even really harm them, because you're supposed to be protecting them and they're supposed to be trusting the company. And if you harm a human, then that makes people, you know, not trust this company. And so they're like, nah, you messing with our money, don't harm humans. So, but this woman, her name is Teresa of the Faint Smile, because she always got a faint smile on her face. She comes to this village, kills the demons. This little girl, who ends up being our main character, follows her around. And she's like, all right, you saved my life. So she's kind of her little sidekick. And she ends up like loving this little girl. At first she didn't like her. She was like beating her up and stuff. She was like, don't touch me, don't follow me. Like, you follow me, like, it's all bad. But eventually she ends up loving her like a daughter. And because of that, these bandits are trying to, like, this little girl, because they're in the woods and stuff. And she's like, all right, don't touch this little girl. And she ends up, like, killing one of them. They're like, all right, messed up. And so, just long story short, the company sends all these warriors after her because now you got to get beheaded because, you done broke the rules. And these are, like, the top level of, the warriors. These are, like, A-list. This is the Umber Black Ops. This is them. And she single-handedly, it is like 4 of these mugs, 3 or 4 of them. Oh no, so there's one instance, they sent like 10 of these mugs after her. And she's like, all right, I concede. He's like, psych, I'm just playing. And she like, she doesn't kill them all, but like in a split second, she like renders them useless. And they're all like surprised. Then after that, they send like, like the top of the top. But even they can't. And I have to see this battle, dude. This is one of the coolest, most epic battles. Because she just is so on her own level that literally nobody else in this company can touch her, even when there's like 3 or 4 of them. And I don't know. I know I'm going on a rant, but just long story short, I think whoever's listening to this should check out Claymore because it just kind of surprises you in the plot. There's some twists in there that I'm like, I don't know where this is going. And it's all pretty epic, and it's like all just women just doing their thing, So anyway, thanks for letting me rant for like another few minutes.
Claymore, yeah, I saw some of the clips. I had put it in our video last time you had talked about it too. It looked pretty nice, but it wasn't nice enough for me to want to go watch it though because I saw how old it looked. Yeah. Like I said, it's a deterrent. When you first see it, it's like, I don't know if I want to continue this. And the first few episodes, I'm not gonna lie, are kind of slow a little bit. It does take a kind of a minute to really get into it, but once you do, like the warriors, so once you start to get into kind of just their character, I think the show does a really good job of characters being really unique in their behavior, in their characteristics and mannerisms and things like that, and their motivations. It's like a lot of times I see shows in anime, it's like a lot of these characters are just fluff, or they're generic, or they're just following some template or some tropes, You always got to have the glasses character. You always got to have the tsundere. You always got to have, it's like, I get kind of a little tired of that sometimes. So this show really surprised me in that the characters were really engaging and really different and really versatile. And some of them, one of them was just downright just insane. She was attacking her own people. She does not give a F. She smells blood and she's like, all right, you're my next victim. And it's just the dynamics between the characters, I'll say, is really strong. And I think that's what stuck out to me and has really, really surprised me. And, it really made it one of my favorite animes, to be honest. But that's my little spiel. I had watched that one that you had recommended, Lewis, when you were choosing between if we were going to do Under Ninja and a few others. And that was the Beast and the Witch or something like that.
Yeah.
I watched that. I finished it.
Oh, you did? I don't even think I finished it. I'm gonna have to go back and get on my game.
Yeah, if you finish that, we can talk about that one next time.
Yeah. Is that? I don't even remember what platform that's on.
It's on Crunchyroll.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, that's a good segue.
It wasn't too bad, and it just reminded me that because that kind of takes place in a type of European style, and technology is just progressing. Though there are trains and stuff like that, but yeah, it's still a little gothic style. Almost.
Yeah.
Really good.
Okay.
So now we go to our last segment, which is Now You Know Damn Well.
All right.
This is a segment where I will ask Lewis a hard question or a really easy question. And doing it with Maul, I decided that I'm going to do both.
Okay.
So you're going to get asked a hard question and an easy question. Now, depending on the order, it's just how I wrote it.
Okay.
So these two are They can be hard or easy depending on how good you are with geography. You ready?
So they're going to be hard. But I'm ready.
It's U.S. geography right now, so it should be easy. Well, it would be easy for me, but it's going to be hard because you can't see the words. All right, so which is the odd one out, Lewis? Michigan, Minneapolis, Maryland, Montana.
Michigan, Minneapolis, because Minneapolis is a city.
Yeah. Yep. See, not too bad. All right. So I guess this one is too easy then. Two very easy questions. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to just make it hard. How many stars were on the U.S. flag when it was first created?
Ooh, see. 13. 13 original colonies, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it? Am I... Because I don't remember U.S. history very well.
1 second, I gotta check. Fact check.
I'm pretty sure they're in like a circle or something too.
Yeah, they were. Yep, 13.
Hey.
Uh-huh, that was a guess.
I know a little bit about this country.
The first question I was going to ask you was how many stars are on the U.S. flag. That was a very easy one.
But no joke. Sometimes I'm like, is it 50 or is it 51? Sometimes I'm like, how many states are in the country?
Where would there be a 51 at? Like, you count Puerto Rico?
Right. Guam? Right.
Those are territories.
I always see.
So those are territories.
Right.
I don't know about Guam. Is that a territory of the U.S.?
I think so. I was just seeing like fine print somewhere that is like Puerto Rico and, this service is offered in all 50 states and Guam and Puerto Rico or something like that. But hey, Trump trying to add Canada, so there might be a 51st state.
All of Canada, the whole country, or just some of the cities? Provinces.
From what I heard, I think it's the whole entire thing is what it sounded like.
Good luck with that. I don't know how he plans on doing that.
All right. I don't know.
Canadians are nice and all, but they will go to war.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of comments already on Reddit. This dude was like, look, I love y'all Americans, but I'm a die before I let my country become part of America. I was like, okay. I was like, I feel you, dude. I feel you.
They're like, we ain't giving them no free health care.
Right.
He's trying to add when there's two trying to be independent. That's dumb.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I
First get Texas and California under control, which you can't do.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Like earlier when you said, we're heading to just being state run, I was like, my first thoughts was like Texas and California. They gonna be their own little thing. Texas
been already started that process and trying to become an independent country, independent from the U.S. America's like, nah. California, there was like talks about it, but if they get together, then that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. It's like I don't know how much Texas or California's, their the revenue or the money that comes out of California. Like, what part of the pie is that for the whole entire state? United States. Like if California separated and was like, look, we are our own country, our own. They secede from the Union. What would that do to the U.S.'s, economy, pretty much? I don't know.
Yeah, because one of the main sources that we outsource or export is our media.
Media. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that comes from Hollywood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Interesting thoughts.
It's gonna be interesting times, and my estimate is that's gonna happen in like probably 70 years, 60-70 years time. That's me being pessimistic. Optimistic is next 100 years.
Yeah.
But pessimistic side is taking over so far of looking at how every election is very polarizing. for the last
So polar.
3 elections.
Right. And you're getting all this deep fake stuff now, you know? It's like it's getting easier and easier for everyday people to just be deceptive and put out misinformation and all of that. And, there's always somebody trying to take down the U.S. in various ways through using AI and, all that, and affecting elections and trying to influence people through social media and, whatever it is. I'm sure there's, people out there trying to use AI to like just subtly influence people over here in the U.S., to do or behave certain ways. And like you said, within the next 60 to 70 years, 100 years, like who knows what kind of stuff will happen. It's like, what kind of global events will cause the U.S. or other countries to just kind of dissolve or, transform. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Because I know soon as we aren't united anymore, that's when the foreign invasion is going to be happening in multiple places around the U.S.
Yeah, that's my worry. That is my concern. Yeah.
Like right now, we are safe because it's not that it's too far to launch any type of, and you got to go over a bunch of allies to like even get your planes here.
Yeah.
Or a lot of water where navies are stationed out there, so it's going to be tough.
Right.
Soon as we are not united anymore, and then like the different allied countries, they're probably going to fall as well because a lot of them are dependent on us.
On our various relationships, yeah. Because I'm like, if it goes
crumble, then they just certain states are going to just continue those relationships. Everybody like, oh, we're not attacking that state, we're attacking this state. Oh, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
Continue on.
Yeah.
Then they just turn their ships around and then start blasting them from the back.
Man.
Or some states will ally with some of these countries and take down other states too.
Yeah. Which will be wild. It sounds like a movie to me. It sounds like a good dystopian sci-fi movie, and unfortunately it's not too hard to see it actually being a reality,
Sadly, it's not. But at least we can see that because the ones who can't see that, and when it happens, their whole worldview will fall apart.
Yeah.
Their entire just paradigm just crumbles, and I don't know if they're able to pick it back up, or it might take a while for them to like gather and accept reality. Yeah.
Because like you said, that's their whole worldview. That's their identity. It's like I guess I didn't realize to what extent people's nationality was part of their identity.
America.
Yeah.
USA. There's still people who believe that America is the greatest country in the world, in the sense of like all aspects of when it comes to say sports, education, whatever. Like we're just the greatest, probably in the sense that for you starting at the bottom can get somewhere, like earn more capital and resources. There's a lot more fluidity than other countries.
But see, even that, in like you said, compared to other countries, the opportunity might be more readily available. The whole pick yourself up by your bootstraps, which is a lie. It's like, America does a really great job of selling a dream. And then even for people who live here, like even me and Didi is like, so the American dream, owning your own home and, having kids and family and all that. It's like, man, that stuff is actually pretty difficult to attain nowadays. The family, you can always have a kid, but trying to have a house and like, do the whole American dream is stuff is out of whack, and trying to make it, as a business and stuff. Not that I've tried, but It's like it's in some aspects, it's not quite as attainable as the U.S. makes it seem, because there's a lot of old money in the U.S. It's like y'all got families that had plantations and, empires back in the day. And now y'all just trickle y'all money down through the generations. And of course, y'all are rich and powerful. Of course, even if you're not ultra rich, a lot of just higher middle class people are rich compared to the rest of the world, because y'all just have been set up for generations, a lot of you. So a lot of us, I'll say.
Well, I know anyway. That it's a lot easier than it seems, because of the thing that makes it hard and difficult is the hidden information.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's so much money and funds out there to help people like get housing, to get their own LLCs, get business funding, grants and all that. There's so much government money gets spent annually. They have to. And also other companies, they have to give charity. Like there's a certain amount they have to give every single year. Otherwise they'll get taxed off the lawsuit. But the information to know that it's not given to the ones who actually need it.
It's like that information, and a lot of times opportunities aren't, given, or they're given to people in nepotism, basically, or if they feel like, so say a bank might not loan out somebody as much capital because maybe they feel like they're more of a risk or something like that. But is it because you feel they're more of a risk, or is it because you are
judging them based off of their socioeconomical background or in their race? Yeah, or other factors. Yeah. Yeah, that's what makes it difficult as well, is the gatekeeping.
Yeah, the gatekeeping.
Opportunities, the redlining. Because, it is a lot easier for some people in this country to get funding or get approved for loans that will put them in a better place. And then, the one thing that's really holding Americans back, though, is trying to act like we have it when we don't. And so it just perpetually puts us behind.
Yeah.
We want to keep appearances up.
Yes. And it's hard to fight, because even if you're
why it's hard to fight though, because it's planned like that. It is hard to fight because of the marketing. We are marketed to 24/7, and anything we're doing is marketing, and so it's making you feel like it's ruining. It's really ruining your like psychology, because it's like if you don't have this or you can't afford this, you should feel bad about yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And it's everything from, it's in all of our media. Yeah. Magazines, our sitcoms. I don't know if other people pay attention to this, but when I see a sitcom and it's a family show and I see their house, I'm like, that's like $1 million, $2 million home. And I see it in like every sitcom. I'm like, where's the homes that are like real basic? Like, show me some more Everybody Hates Chris type stuff. Like show me homes that are like
good times
actual people live in. And I'm not saying it's got to look ghetto and like run down, but just show me stuff that ain't super luxury, that makes me feel like if I don't have that, if my life doesn't look like that, I see it everywhere. Now, like you said, I feel like I'm inadequate, or I'm behind, or I don't have, and even if you're not on social media, which is like the big beast that all of this kind of happens to, is like even just everyday stuff. I have a hard time. I see some of my couple's friends and, their house is this, they got this. Man, I ain't got no car like that. Man, I ain't got no house like that yet. I'm almost 36 and I ain't got, But a couple of months ago, I was talking to my supervisor. He's just past 40. They just bought their first house 3 years ago. And I was like, that was really sobering for me, because I was like, oh, so it's not just me. It's probably a lot of people are actually in various stages of their journey. And it's like, I'm sure there are people who are in their 50s who just got their first house, and it's probably not 3,000 square feet. It's probably like 1,800 square, so it's like you said, when the media is just showing you all this stuff that you're not all the time, it just really messes you psychologically. It does.
And that's what is keeping us, because the fluidity is there. It is either than most countries. It's just that the marketing is clouding us and keeping us in a perpetual cycle of spending more than we make, or just barely getting by, and we got to live paycheck to paycheck because we had to keep so many things to keep us sane. And on top of not really knowing that the information's out there for us to get, because there's one thing to know that the information's out there. There's in refusing not to like look it up and stuff, but there's another when you just have no clue.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's just no knowledge whatsoever. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Know where to go to even get a clue to what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so you're just staying in the race, the rat race, trap.
Which is a lot of minority communities, people in minority communities, and they're just like, I don't know how to go and get, like in Omaha, I feel like we're blessed because we have places like Metro, that teaches you trades and stuff like that. And, there's a lot of nonprofits and people like what you were doing when you're helping out the youth and stuff. Like there's people out there to help and stuff. And we're really blessed. But yeah, man.
Yeah, it's getting better though. There's a lot of people who are proponents of, like I said, those people who are giving free wholesaling. Like they're not going to, they giving us the real and exactly what it takes. Because a lot of people like to sell this dream of wholesaling is very easy and it doesn't take a lot of work and it's a big payoff. They're like, no, you're gonna have to work. There's no shortcut. You have to call a bunch of people, hear a bunch of no's. You have to visit. You have to actually go out and look for homes that are run down and stuff, and put them on your list and leave notes. Like you have to do, like somebody likes to say, real estate is a contact sport.
Yeah.
That was somebody from a different course that was make real estate real, because these gurus and stuff will be trying to make it seem like it's very easy and simple and it's not a lot of work. They're not being completely truthful, and the reason why they're saying it's not a lot of work because they already passed the hard part of them working the hard, and now they're sitting back reaping from the hard work that they did do while also selling courses, and so that's when they really get the money.
Well, I guess we can wrap it up, I guess.
All right. Yeah, you said an hour. We had 2.
Yeah. Hey, what's the saying? You shoot for the moon, land among the stars, or something like that. I don't know. we got close enough to an hour.
So you guys can follow us at Nani Another Anime Podcast on Instagram and at TikTok. It's that Nani Another Anime Podcast with a period after every word except podcast. Yeah, and if you guys want to email us any suggestions of what anime of the week can be that we might not have seen, you can email us at nanianotheranimepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. Please contact us.
You remember the outro, right, Lewis? Got it up?
I do this time, yeah. Finally.
So TWMA.
GB.